Hey everyone, it's Mera Mangle.
And Chasity Valentino.
And welcome to another Mangled morning.
Woo!
Chasity Valentino, you look cozy.
Thanks. Comfortable in my skin.
I'm comfortable in RuPaul's skin.
Cozy with who I am.
I'm cozy with being RuPaul.
Yeah?
Just trying to keep it going. It's already lost. There goes my improv skills.
Well, damn.
Today, since, Mangle Morning has been away for a month and a half, there's been so much that happens all the time in the Drag Race world. Luckily, we didn't have a bunch of franchises on at once. If I had gone away at any time at the end of, actually most of last year, I missed 8 episodes that I had to catch up on.
25.
Yeah, it would, because there's like 5 on at once. We're going to do kind of like a roundup of what's to come in 2025 for Drag Race, the Drag Race franchises, and talk about that. And
I'm excited.
Who's coming back, who's not coming back, who's getting new All-Star seasons, and what new franchises, brand new franchises are coming, and all that. So we're going to get into all that. But before we get started, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like the video, and join the Patreon where you can see all kinds of additional content you can't see on YouTube. Plus, you're helping support the channel. Now, of course, you can also support the channel by tipping on Venmo or Cash App as well. So before we get into some of our fun topics, the first thing that we have to talk about is the Vivienne passing away. That happened I didn't find out about it till a couple weeks after, and I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. It's so surreal.
That was
so heartbreaking.
That rocked the world. She was just so outstanding.
She was
amazing.
so confident. Like, she was just such boss energy.
I loved her. I loved her story.
Yeah.
Her journey.
She got to compete on the all-winter season with, being the only international queen.
Being the only international queen on the all-winter season.
And she held her own.
She was sickening.
Yeah. I mean, it's surreal. It was unreal.
Yeah. One of the things that I don't want to breathe much life into was a former
I heard
winners.
I know. And you know what's funny is when I first was talking to people, that they kept bringing that up, and I guess from my perspective, I was like, that I don't even know. I don't
want to breathe life into it.
Yeah, you don't want to entertain it.
But how terribly miserable do you have to be to speak ill?
It's just for
of
attention.
Someone who's passed, whether you liked them or not.
It's just for attention.
It absolutely is for attention, and the more life that's breathed into it, that's why I don't even recognize their name, because it just gives them airtime. It's so sad to watch people, especially with everything going on in the world today. That's what you resort to.
This is where you're putting your energy.
And although I would live if they did take her crown and crowned Miss Thing.
Yeah, they've never done that. But, I mean, Raven would be the ideal person to do that.
They should have done it the first time.
She's already there. One of the things that people were telling me about is what RuPaul posted after that.
Oh, yeah.
Which, that's pretty iconic way to respond. Yeah, I mean, the Vivienne was unbelievably talented.
So amazing.
The character stuff she did, Snatch Game, the looks were very versatile.
Looks, vocals.
Yeah.
She was a well-rounded queen.
I think that's why, we always say that the first winner of a brand new franchise typically is a queen that is that well-rounded queen that could represent the entire country, like, in their drag, and she was that girl. She literally was that girl.
And you didn't hear about or see stories about her being nasty or mean or rude to her fans or anything like that.
I feel like she never had, like, drama for real.
Yeah.
I know that she had done one of those BBC shows where it's like celebrity skating, ice skating, and things like that.
She had done a BBC show?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not the way you're thinking of BBC. I'm talking about the British communication something.
Oh.
The BBC, the TV. The channel that Drag Race airs on in the UK.
I'm only familiar with one BBC.
Well, I'm sure that, I'm not going to say that.
It's a tragedy, but her memory will forever live on in the Drag Race Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and Drag Race is always on and repeating, and it doesn't ever really go away, so, people will continuously still be introduced to her work.
Absolutely.
And get to see her. It is kind of nice, yeah, that's always there. Let's move on let's do a big shift to Canada Season 5. Also missed the end of Canada Season 5. They crowned a winner.
They crowned a winner, baby.
The Virgo Queen won Season 5 of Canada's Drag Race. I feel like there was some people feeling a little bit like they could see it coming.
Yeah.
Like story-wise, production-wise. Canada's not the best at hiding the production. or what it appears that it's leaning towards. But she was a strong, fierce competitor, and had a great story arc on the season, and is really awesome.
Yeah, I'm not offended by her winning. It didn't scream rigatoni.
No, I feel like the top girls were all pretty. They all had their own strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
There wasn't one person that was like the runaway. They narrowed down the top 4 to top 2 for the final lip sync, and Michaela Couture, her personality wise, like was the person I was most drawn to. Like she was that girl. But also in the top 4, which there's a queen that I was surprised didn't get to lip sync, Minnie Wang, because they had 2 wins, and Virgo had 2 wins, but then Michaela and then another queen only had the 1, So it's like, how did they determine these are the top? Why are they determining these are the top 2? Minnie Wang was a pit crew member on season 1, so they had 2 girls that not only were on the season that were previously like guests on Drag Race Canada, but they made it all the way to the top 4, and they really did earn it. And especially Minnie, she won multiple challenges and like blossomed. She had a great arc.
Yeah.
So I really wish that she had gotten a lip sync, but probably would have still been Virgo.
Just looking at it in retrospect, being like, hey, I sat back and I watched this for so long, and that was a part of it. Now I'm gonna try my hand at the drag. Wig. Bring me my wig.
I mean, in the real world, think about like the people that you're around.
Think about how many of the bad boys turn into drag queens.
The bad boys.
The boys that we get to carry our bag into the club.
I thought you said bad boys.
No, the bag boys.
Yeah, like your friend that carries your bag.
Your friend that carries your bag.
Sitting backstage with you.
Sits back there, goes and gets your shots or your cocktail or 99%
your water. 99% of them end up in drag.
Eventually, they turn into one of them girls and they put their wig on, and honey, you can't tell them nothing.
If you have a friend that sits backstage with the queens, takes their bags in, if they don't know it yet and you don't know it yet, I'm here to tell you that they're eventually going to do drag.
If they sit and watch you paint,
right,
get ready.
They're going to be doing drag. They're going to be in your wigs.
And if they say, I want to do drag for Halloween, it's a wrap.
That is a gateway drug.
A queen is born.
Jaylene Time won Miss Congeniality, and oh my God, I don't think you watched this full season, but you need to watch it just for her.
Yeah.
The workroom stories and the life that she lived, everything she's able to share about who she is, a trans woman, two-spirited queen. She's probably the best Miss Congeniality in terms of the heart since like Latrice Royale.
Love
that level of like iconicness for being Congeniality.
I love that. I wish that more franchises had more of the old school drag girls, the older generation, the generation that was like probably 1 or 2 generations before us that like really beat the path and paved the way and have really been through some stuff to get to where they are right now.
Right. They experienced a lot more.
And probably could help on a broader spectrum of what the times look like that lie ahead of us coming up right now.
Yeah. The person who gave her check, for Miss Congeniality was the last year's winner, Kitten Caboodle, who is still tops Jaylene Time is the oldest Drag Race contestant out of any franchise. She was 58, won a Maxi Challenge on her season, and then still walked away with Congeniality. I love that back-to-back, they had queens in their 50s win Congeniality, and they fully deserved it.
See, not all the old school girls are bitches.
No, yeah, especially in Canada, they're sweethearts.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start talking about everything that's happening in 2025 with the Drag Race franchises. What's coming up, who's renewed, who's not coming back. So obviously there's only one airing right now, which is season 17.
Mm-hmm.
We're in the thick of that. And they've already started casting.
They've already started casting for season 18. Back. I'm glad that it's refreshing again.
Yeah.
They've put some new twists in. It's coming back. I'm excited to watch again versus like just, girl, I gotta watch this. Like, oh, I gotta watch this. I think I said that last episode. Like, I'm just excited that they're putting a breath of fresh air back into it.
There's something with the casting. It's kind of ironic though that we go from talking about the two oldest queens and how great they are, but then season 17 is like the youngest U.S. cast ever.
Youngest U.S. cast. So, and the fact that they call somebody in their 30s the grandma of the season, the audacity, because I guess we're just decrepit over here.
It's like that Lord of the Flies thing with drag queens where, like, you're the oldest, so you are the oldest.
Yeah, you're the oldest. You are Meemaw.
I kind of get that,
Yeah,
like
you are
that's
the
just how the
Meemaw
story
of the
develops
season.
in the room. So I hope in the future we don't continue on that trend because the U.S. franchise, besides like Charlie, struggles to cast like the older queens.
And I think the U.S. seasons need some more girls that were doing drag before Drag Race was a thing.
Right. Like Sasha Colby.
Yeah, because like in reality, a lot of these girls that are on this season started doing drag because of Drag Race.
Right, because they're so damn young.
They're so young. They started drag because of Drag Race.
All that being said, though, there's something. I don't think it's the twist with this season. I think it's the cast and the way that the dynamic of all it. I think it's cast perfectly.
Oh
it's
no,
I
think this is the perfect medley of personalities, and
it's making great TV.
It makes great TV. So yeah, great job casting. If I had a note, that would be it.
Let's talk about the international franchises that will be returning in 2025. Drag Race Brasil Season 2 is returning after a year off.
I know, and I actually really liked that one, remember?
I don't remember because I watched them. I don't remember which ones you liked.
Oh, I did actually.
Brazil was good.
I liked Brazil.
Grag Queen has been hosting stuff with them filming. I could see that one airing really soon because she's teasing a lot and showing a lot on her social media.
Yeah.
That, if it's not going to come till like the end of the year, it's going to be like...
Didn't Brazil have a hot pit crew too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the thing is, the season 1, along with Mexico and Global and all that, they were filmed in Colombia. So a lot of the pit crew was Colombian men. But they say that season 2 is not filmed in Colombia. They went to Portugal or Spain to film, which is so random.
Yeah.
But if it works, it works. Mexico did come back last year, and it is coming back for season 3. So those were both renewed. I'm really glad because with Brazil not getting renewed when Mexico did, it was like, that's not great.
Yeah.
Why did they take a year off? But, I mean, it doesn't matter. It's coming back. And also, there's so many, and these are just the ones that we know for sure are coming back. They all could take a leap year.
Yeah, we don't need it all back to back to back to back to back to back.
They could all come back at a year and a half.
Yeah.
Something like that. Espana for season 5. We just had season 4 at the end of last year, so it might air later this year.
Yeah.
Maybe they're going to start doing the fall thing. But the fall was crowded. I love that they do give the biggest U.S. seasons. It's always the most popular in general. So I feel like a lot of the other franchises steer clear to let them have the time because it's very likely that you'd get overshadowed. That's what usually happens. But man, some of them got to start a little earlier.
Yeah.
Start towards when this one's wrapping up.
We don't need to just cram it all in there.
No.
Spread it out.
There has to be a better plan than coming to a point every year where there's 5 on at once. And then UK and Canada, UK now going into their 7th season. Isn't that crazy?
That is kind of crazy to think about.
And Canada season 6. It's wild.
Even Canada season 6.
I know.
What?
I mean, I started this channel with Canada season 1. That's nuts.
That is nuts. I'm excited. I'm excited to see these franchises coming back.
These are all good franchises.
Yes. I think I'm going to have to really hone in this. My goal for 2025 will be to watch deeper into
keep up with
the international seasons.
When there was that many on, 15 seasons, it's it is hard to know which ones to get into if you're trying to play jump rope and get in. It's just so many.
And especially whenever it's in a different language, you have to really pay attention and watch subtitles and to know what's going on. So it does become difficult sometimes. We sometimes can turn it on and watch without actually watching.
Oh, right, yeah.
But
when you have subtitles, you need to pay attention.
You got to be like...
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it becomes difficult because my ADHD kicks in and I'm trying to do other things while I'm...
Yeah. There's one new franchise launching in 2025. Drag Race South Africa, our first African continent franchise.
I'm so excited for it, too.
I am too. The more that we talk to people in the comments and in messages that were either from South Africa or have been there and experienced the drag, says that they have a rich culture of drag there.
They do. There's actually pageantry.
In South Africa?
Yes. This might not be the actual name, but there's a South African prelim in South Africa this year to Continental.
Wow. I love that after all this time, we're still discovering other places where drag is big. Without the Drag Race name, sometimes I guess that's what you need.
And I guess maybe I just... I didn't think that drag would be that big in South Africa just because of, the small cities and tribes and things like that.
And the history of
the
country.
It was kind of shocking to me, and I'm excited to see what the drag is like. And I guess I can't...
And to hear the stories.
I can't go too deep because I've never been to South... I would love to go to South Africa, but I've never been
beautiful.
to South Africa.
One thing I've come to appreciate is, how, getting to learn so much about the country, typically, if the show's well produced. And I'm sure this one will be.
When I think of going to South Africa, I want to go on a safari.
See, I think of the beaches, because when I was in travel, I would have people that would book to go there.
Yeah.
They were going to, like, the fancy beach, because they have beautiful beaches and things like that. And penguins.
I want to go on a safari. I want to see the elephants and the lions.
I don't care what country I'm in. I don't want to go on any sort of safari ever. No, ma'am. That doesn't interest me.
I'm intrigued.
I will jump off a building. I'll, parachute. I'll do all that kind of stuff.
Yeah?
Safari, I don't fuck with lions and tigers and bears.
Oh, my. I'm trying to see it all. I am so intrigued.
Hold on.
Ain't nobody said nothing to me all day. The minute we start filming, my phone is...
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it and learn and meet the queens and what it's like there.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm so curious. And I hope that they give us, like, kind of some insight on, like, what the club scene is like in South Africa, or performing in South Africa looks like. Is it reminiscent to what we do here in the U.S.?
Yeah, rumored to be coming back. Envy Peru posting about Drag Race Holland and saying, who do you want to see on another season? And why would you be asking that if you're not actually going to... It's not going to pop up. I don't think any other show would film and it would air as quickly. So, like, they would film it, and, like, basically the day they were done filming, episode 1 would be airing. Like, it was out there quick. So what's interesting about that one is, like, it could pop up out of nowhere at any time.
I remember paying attention to Holland because Vanessa lived here in St. Louis.
Right, Vanessa Cartier.
When she was Miss Continental.
Yeah.
And then she went back home, and then she got on Drag Race.
She won another pageant.
And then won her big one.
Envy Peru was kind of her drag daughter.
Yeah.
And season 1 winner was kind of leading the charge with the campaign of who do you want for a season 3, which makes me hopeful that my dream would come true of her being the host instead of Fred. There was a disconnect with how Fred or the producers would make decisions, and something would go wrong with the eliminations. Like, really wrong each season. If you're going to take that time off and all that, give us exactly what we want. We all want Envy Peru to
host. Give the people what they want.
I'd love to see all the previous queens featured. The queens were so fierce. Some of the best runways ever, like, just fierce. It was good. Fierce, iconic.
It was kind of disappointing that franchise had not returned.
When it started, it was, like, only the 4th one,
And...
It was only, like, in terms of international at the time.
Vanessa was, like, one of the first trans presenting trans women.
Winners.
We had not yet seen a trans person or that kind of trans representation on any of the Drag Race
franchises. There was one, but it was Thailand, Angelique.
Yeah.
She was the only one. And then Vanessa and Kylie Sonique Love both won, like, back to back. I can't even remember who was first.
It was like Vanessa opened a door. Then all of a sudden we started to see that, okay, here we go. Let's
can normalize.
We can normalize trans people on
Drag Race. Took a long time.
It did. It's been a long...
But we've had a lot of trans winners already.
We have. And I'm glad to see the progression.
They're some of the most iconic. We didn't talk about All-Stars yet. All-Stars 10 is coming. There's rumors that it's going to really be switching it up. There's a video on this channel where you can look at what those rumors are. But they're changing the format up.
I've seen the rumored cast list, too.
It's the biggest cast ever, which is cool. And the format, allegedly, is going to be interesting. And I feel like they're trying to make it special for the 10th season.
Yeah. The rumored cast, there were some that I was like, oh, really?
There's some that are like no-brainers, like, yes, finally. And there's some that are like, huh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Again?
Either again or like some
just
that
randomness.
Like I was like, I thought they said they quit drag.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, okay. The check must have cleared, honey.
Or bills had to be paid.
One or the other.
In addition to All-Stars 10, the other two, there's going to be 2 other allegedly, well, one for sure, All-Star seasons in 2025. France All-Stars, for their first ever All-Star season, has officially been confirmed. They announced that, like, late last year. But before that was official, the rumor that was going around was not only are we getting a France All-Stars, but also Philippines All-Stars. They're both at their 3rd season.
Yeah.
Or they just finished their 3rd season. They're both ones that people are franchises that people love and would love to see in All-Stars.
Well-known and liked franchises. How late were we into the U.S. before we started All-Stars?
Season 4. we started after season 4.
Yeah, I feel like season 3 is just a bit early.
Well, if you look at UK and Canada, they don't have an All-Stars, but what they do have is a Versus the World. And they both, I want to say they both started after they wrapped season 3 with Versus the World. So it's like, I think it's actually like part of the franchise contract. You're then allowed to do some sort of All-Stars.
I feel like 4 or 5 is a good starting point, because then you have such a bigger variety and pool to pick from.
Especially if you have a franchise that only has 10 queens each season.
Yeah, it's like we just saw you.
Yeah, it could be like limiting too if you're trying to do it every year. But I would love to see both of those.
Oh, I'm so excited about them.
And last year we had 5 All-Star seasons because Versus the Worlds for Canada and UK for some reason rotate years. It's every other year. We'll get those next year. And we've already heard rumors about them filming UK Versus the World. Yeah. So we know that's coming back next year. Or I guess it could come out at the end of this year, but historically it's been the beginning of the new year. Drag Race Espana All-Stars is not, there's no announcement of that returning. So maybe they'll do do the same thing as Versus the World, where they skip a year. But, and maybe Global will skip a year, but I also could see Global just being canceled because it's in a different boat.
Yeah.
It was not well received.
Yeah, it really, because I remember us talking about it and being like, what's the major difference between Global All-Stars and Versus the World?
Global was what we thought Versus the World would be, or, vice versa.
Yeah.
I love that for Global, it was just one representative from each franchise, versus like, the Versus the Worlds have lots of US and lots of UK queens every time, no matter what it is.
Yeah, it's very heavy in those two realms.
Down Under, this past year, had its first season without Ru, with Michelle, and I think it was one of the most successful seasons, if not the most successful. However, we have not heard if it's returning for season, 5. Drag Race Thailand, Belgium, both aired last year. Thailand, 3rd season after a long break, but that also was not well received. And
maybe they'll go on another break.
We haven't heard anything about it returning.
Yeah.
But Belgium, still no news. And then Drag Race Italia, Germany, and Sweden all aired in 2023? But Brazil, their first season was in 2023, and they took off, they didn't come back last year. So maybe Germany and Italia and some of them could do that.
I would like to see Germany
pop
return.
back up. Germany had a great pool of talent. I would have never guessed that comedy would be so horrible. I hope they can get a redemption for that, for the franchise, for the country. But I did really like the queens.
Yeah.
The queens were interesting. Which one are you would like to see the most that's not coming back?
I think the one that I'd like to see return the most would probably have to be Down Under or Thailand.
Down Under is at the top of my list. I felt like they just figured it out. Like they finally got the casting
They
right.
had just got the groove of how it should flow, and I think and with Michelle as the host.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Yeah.
And I love that there was so many queens on the panel every week. Sasha Colby guest judging, and then all those Down Under queens popping up all the time. I love that. I love that aspect. I love seeing multiple queens on the panel.
Yeah, I wish the U.S. franchise had more queens on the panel. Drag queens critiquing drag queens.
A drag queen?
I'd never.
Have you seen any of the clips of Bob on Traitors?
I love Traitors. Traitors is my show.
Oh, see, I don't watch it, but I've seen some of the clips, and Bob is making good TV.
Traitors is my shit. Peppermint made good TV last time.
Spoiler, I heard that Bob just got eliminated.
Bob got eliminated like 2 seasons ago. Or two episodes ago.
Well, wasn't Peppermint only in one, though? And she didn't, make 2 big moments, except for at the reunion. I did see that clip.
No, I lived for Peppermint on Traitors. I love Bob on Traitors. If they ever want us to review Traitors, let us know, because I love it.
No, I asked our Patreon members what they want to, anything that they'd like us to do now that we're basically doing a fresh start with the channel, and that was a suggestion, is to recap Traitors.
I love it. I support it. I'm obsessed with Traitors and Deal or No Deal Island.
That sounds made up.
It is great.
Deal or No Deal Island.
It is great.
Why are they on an island?
Deal or No Deal Survivor style.
Just with suitcases?
Yes.
Survivor with suitcases?
There's a new drag format show coming out, kind of Big Brother style, with a lot of the RuPaul franchise girls.
Has that officially been announced?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're saying that...
You want me to show you?
Drag House rules. 7 queens, 1 house. What could go wrong? And we've got Rock'em Sakura, Laganja, Bitch Pudding, so that's Dragula representation. Who's the guy in the middle? Is that the host?
I don't remember who the guy in the middle is.
Then Silky, Manila, Tammie Brown, and Juju. I love that all these queens are so iconic that I can see.
Yeah.
I know exactly who they are by looking at this tiny little picture.
Yeah, and you can't start out a show without Manila and Juju. Juju has to be on there.
They have to be, right.
And it premieres February 21st.
What, do they have a goal in the house? Are they winning prizes?
They haven't, I haven't
Has there
seen
been a trailer? No.
I haven't seen a trailer yet, so this is the teaser, and I think the trailer's coming soon. But the thought of 7 queens, 1 house.
It sounds great. I will say they kind of just did that with a show called Slaycation, where it's basically like the Real Housewives trip, where they had 6 queens in a house, winter vacation. And it was a pretty good lineup, but nothing happened. Which was
I feel like this
so
could be the Bad Girls Club of drag.
That's what you'd want. But, I mean, I guess if you look at that cast, Juju's not going to bring the bad girl. She's going to be funny. Like,
Silky
Manila's not
and
going to bring her.
Laganja.
Well, Laganja's so different now, though. She's not going to fight.
But she could still annoy them.
Bitch Pudding is so cool. Like, she's so chill.
There's so many different personalities in there.
There are. Who else did I miss? Tammie Brown.
Tammie Brown.
Rock will cry on the drop of a hat.
Will cry. I'm excited to see what the future holds for all these different brands, all these new shows.
Let us know what you're excited to see in 2025 and what you're disappointed that's not coming back, or what you're disappointed that is coming back.
You're disappointed I'm here.
You're disappointed we're back.
Disappointed.
Well, I have one last thing to say today. Glad you got to see us. Bye!